My name is Don Snavely. I am the co-owner of Two Lucky Dogs Farm. I grow mushrooms. When I was in high school, I was in advanced biology. I was selected as one of 15 students to go down to UC Davis, and I toured their mycology and fermentation science department. And I was really fascinated at what mushrooms and fungus really do for us in the way of medicines, foods, cheeses, spirits. Really interesting that you can feed an entire population off the fungi kingdom. I grew about 8 different varieties. Particularly, I like to grow the chestnut mushrooms, shiitakes, blue oysters, pearly whites, lion's mane, and several other types that I can grow, but it depends on the season. One of my favorite mushrooms is the chestnut mushrooms, which you hear in the background. For flavor and for density, they have a sweet, nutty flavor, but when cooked, they still retain some of their density to them, so they still have some crunch to them. They don't get soft like some mushrooms do. The process starts with developing the substrate, which is usually a hardwood sawdust in a soy hull, then water, and then those are pasteurized for about 18 hours to eliminate most of the microbes that are in it. And then they're inoculated with grain that has mycelium growing on it. And that's what starts the process. And then from there, once they grow and are ready to move to a grow chamber, the grow chamber is equipped with temperature, humidity, and lighting that will help them grow to their fullest extent. The taste and texture of mushrooms will actually vary depending on the mushroom itself. Like the shiitakes tend to be a very dense, all-around good mushroom for like pizzas, sauces, soups, stews, things like that. Then I have more fragile mushrooms, and some of my elm oysters tend to be a little more fragile. The overarching flavor of a mushroom is usually umami. Oyster mushroom, the umami is more pronounced. So one of the dishes that a lot of vegans like to make is the crabless crab cakes. They take on the exact taste and texture of crab meat. Actually, one of my favorite dishes was to make a beef bourguignon. Toward the end, I pulled off a lot of the juice and I folded in a pound of the chestnut mushrooms into it and then folded it back in. And then in a traditional countryside French cuisine, that's served on a savory mashed potato. So I did kind of a garlic, Italian herb mashed potatoes, and it was really a fantastic dish. Went really well with a nice Cabernet. One is, I was helping a friend and they gave me some pheasant meat. So I did a black pearl, shiitake, and elm oyster in a white wine garlic sauce. And the black pearls tend to take on a smoky flavor very similar to the chanterelles. I was going to pair it with a nice white wine, but I went to the website that is located on my website, and it directed me to pair it with a Shiraz, which complemented the smokiness of the mushrooms. The other one was a recipe I'm working on is to take the old mincemeat pie recipe, and instead of putting meat in it, is put in the mushrooms, a dense mushroom like a shiitake, and then let it marinate in kind of a nice bourbon. Serve it on a fila dough with maybe like a cream cheese on it, and then top it with a heavy whipped cream, and then pair that with a really nice port. My mushrooms predominantly can be found to the public at a lot of the local farmers markets. The Aiken Farmers Market, Saturday mornings 7:30 to 11. The Augusta Locally Grown Market, Thursdays from 4 to 7. And then I'll be starting the Evans Farmers Market on Saturdays from 10 to 2. I also work with some of the local restaurants like the Wilcox, as well as other restaurants in the area. When they order mushrooms from me, I'm actually custom growing them. When they're harvested, they're taken to them within hours of harvest, so they're getting the maximum freshness and flavor out of those mushrooms.